Okay, today we are going to talk about a topic called the relation between the coefficient and the roots of a quadratic equations. What in this chapter, the most important thing is this statement here. If alpha and beta are the roots of ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, then alpha plus beta will be equals to minus b over a. Alpha beta will be equals to c over a. What it's trying to tell you is, let me try to make a simple illustration of what these two formulas actually means. What they are trying to tell us is that if, let's take a simple example, x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. Assuming we can know that in our elementary mathematics that we can actually factorize this. So my solution will be 3 and x is equals to 2. Okay, these two values here are what we know as the roots of the quadratic equations. And you can see that if we get the sum of the roots, 3 plus 2 is equals to 5. And what this tells us is that the sum of the roots and is related to the coefficient of this equation. You can see that my b is minus 5 and my a is 1 from this equation. So, and a equal 1. So if we take minus b over a, we also get 5. That's what they are trying to explain here. The relation between the solutions and the coefficient of roots. Similarly, if we take the product of these two roots, 3 times 2, we will get 6. And looking at this equation, c over a will be equals to 6 over 1, which is the same. Okay, now let us take a look at some basic examples that we see in this topic. Example 1. We are given this quadratic equation, 5x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. So, the first thing that you always do in alpha beta question is to write down the sum of roots. In this case, the sum of roots will be alpha plus beta, which will give us minus 4 over 5. Now, the product of roots will be alpha times beta, which will be 3 over 5. Once we have these two relationships, the first thing that we always need to find is alpha squared plus beta squared, regardless of not whether a question have asked. So to find alpha squared plus beta squared, we take a look at alpha squared plus beta squared is the same as alpha plus beta whole thing square. What we need to do here is to get rid of the 2ab that's inside here. So we minus off 2 alpha beta. Okay, now inserting what we have inside this equation, we have minus 4 over 5 square minus 2 3 over 5. So what we have will be negative 14 over 25. This will answer the first question in A. B. Form an quadratic equation in X whose roots are alpha over beta and beta over alpha. Once you are asked to form a quadratic equations, we need to find two things. The first thing that we need to find is the sum of roots. The sum of roots will be alpha over beta plus beta over alpha. What we always need to do is to simplify this by combining into one fraction, or we do it by factorization. Once you simplify it, you realize that everything that you are required to find is actually on the previous equations. So substituting the value inside, alpha squared plus beta squared will be minus 14 over 25 divided by 3 over 5. So this will give me minus 14 over 25. Now we proceed to find the other requirement, which is the products of roots. The products of roots will be alpha over beta multiplied by beta over alpha. in this situation, we do not need any values from here. We can just cancel everything and we will get 1. So the quadratic equation that we require will be x squared minus the sum of roots, which will be minus 14 over 25 x plus 1 plus the product of roots equals to 0. Since we do not really like fractional coefficient, we can multiply everything by 25. Then we will get 25x squared plus 14x plus 25 equals to 0. So this will solve my first example question. Now let's take a look at example 2. Okay, notice that in this example 2, we do not ask for alpha squared plus beta squared, but make it a habit to find alpha squared plus beta squared whenever you are dealing with this alpha beta question. So what we do now is write down the sum and product of roots first. So the sum of roots will be alpha plus beta equals to minus 3 over 2, which will be 3 over 2. And the product of root will be alpha beta equals to minus 1 over 2. Okay, to find a quadratic equation, if you remember what I said just now, is to find the sum of roots. The sum of roots here refers to the two roots here. So the sum of roots will be alpha cube beta plus alpha beta cube. We need to do some simplification of this, so we will just factorize it. By factorizing it, you will realize that they require me to find alpha squared plus beta squared. From the previous example, I hope that you already learned how to find this. If not, let's try to learn it from here. Alpha squared plus beta squared is alpha plus beta whole thing square. Then what we do is we get rid of the 2 alpha beta in between these two. Substituting all the values inside, we will have 3 over 2 square minus 2 minus half. And this will give me 13 over 4. So, back to this question. Substituting alpha over beta inside, we have minus half multiplied by alpha squared plus beta squared, which we found just now is 13 over 4. This will give me minus 13 over 8. Now, let's start to find the product of roots. The product of roots will be alpha cube beta times alpha beta cube. This will give me alpha 4 beta 4, which will be alpha beta to the power 4. Since we have alpha beta here, we just substitute inside. We will get minus half to the power 4, which is 1 over 16. Now that we have found the sum of roots and product of roots, the equation required will be x squared minus the sum of roots plus the product of roots. Since we do not like fractional coefficient, multiply everything by 16, we will get 16x squared plus 26x plus 1 equals 0. So this is the equation that we require for the answer here. That's all. Thank you.